Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am glad you're here. Today we're going to do a little knife comparison, a little side by side, using some random variables to come up with a winner, so to speak, even though that's going to be hard to do because both of these knives, both the Big Idea Design Company Lookout and the Lucky Dog RanchDog, are both fantastic EDC fixed blades. But we're just going to look at them next to some objective kind of points and then let me kind of subjectively determine which ones come out on top. Keep in mind that this is non-scientific, subjective comparison by me. But before we get started, I do want to give a shout out and say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you, thank you. I want to say thank you to anyone who subscribes to the channel and comes in and watches my knife and EDC content. Thank you. And I want to say thank you for anyone who just comes in and checks out the knife, the EDC content. So getting started, and I forgot to do this before we started, but the prices of these guys, I want to say the Lookout is right around $229 and the RanchDog is right around $249. And I will confirm those and put them in the description. The Big Idea Design Co. is OEM by Bestech, designed here in the States. The Lucky Dog Guard Dog is designed here in the States and OEM'd in Canada. So what we've got is we've got two knives that are very similar in length, but very different in what I consider their capabilities and what they're good at and what I kind of use them for. So I wanted to look at them side by side, 6 inches, 6 inches roughly. They're roughly both about 6 inches. And I wanted to start out and I wanted to look at the materials and then ergonomics, carry, retention, aesthetics, and so on. So first off, we have materials. This knife is OEM by Bestech. It is a titanium handled S35VN blade. Very nice, very thin. The materials on the Lucky Dog are 3V blade steel, hand belt satin or hand satin. You've got this Bacati wood and this Wingay wood that makes up a beautiful handle. Material wise, looking at the two side by side, they're both fantastic knives, but when I look at the two types of wood and the 3V blade over the S35 and the titanium, I'll give the materials to the RanchDog. And then we come to ergonomics. Ergonomics is how the knife feels in my hand, the different positions that I have to control the knife. The RanchDog is very unique in that it is a very neutral handle, not a lot of sculpting, but it does have this retention point for the sheath that gives you a great place to wrap your fingers so that you don't push up on that knife. You've also got some hand notch jimping that works very, very well at helping to keep your hand in place on such a small knife. The Lookout does have a little bit of contouring in the handle to kind of suck your hand in. You have jimping here at the tail. It is a thinner blade or thinner handle altogether. To me, they're both very ergonomical, but when it comes down to which one just feels more natural in hand, I'm going to have to give it to the Lookout just because of the way that it flares in my hand. Feels very, very comfortable. So ergonomics will go to the Lookout. Now carry and retention should really be one thing, but in this one it's kind of not. The carry is how the knife rides in the pocket. So when I put this knife with the deep concealment clip in my pocket, it rides deep to right here. Very easy to pop the knife out of the sheath. However, the Big Idea Design Company utilizes one of their proprietary titanium clips. It actually ships with a left-handed sheath and a right-handed sheath, and you can mount this clip to the center of the Kydex sheath and it mounts higher, so you've actually got less showing up out of the pocket. So this one buries deeper in the pocket than this one. This one is thinner. The Lookout is thinner than the RanchDog. So for carry, I'm going to have to give that point to our Lookout from Big Idea Design Company. Retention. They both retain great. The Big Idea Design Company comes out much easier of the sheath. However, it's not going to flop out of the sheath, even with that titanium handle. The Lucky Dog RanchDog has a very tight retention. So it snaps in, it's not going to come out. However, you do have a little rattle in that sheath. But in terms of retention, this one holds in the sheath much tighter than this one. This one is definitely a little bit smoother carrying, doesn't have the rattle, but does not have the strength of the retention that the RanchDog has. So retention is going to go to the RanchDog. And then we come to aesthetics. Aesthetics is very, very subjective. So I'll look at them in the sheath. They both look very, very nice. If you're a simpler traditionalist, you're going to probably like the look of the RanchDog. If you're a little bit more contemporary modern, you're probably going to steer to the aesthetics of the Lookout. For me, they're both beautiful knives. What throws me off is I've got a really nice attraction to spay tip blades. I also know that this knife was made by a custom maker. I love the double jimping. I love the Wingay and Bacata handles. I love this knife too, guys. Both of these knives are stone cold winners. I have to give aesthetics to the RanchDog just because of me. Now, sliciness. We can look at a couple of different materials. We'll start with just a little paper. That's cutter error. What I judge is the amount of noise and resistance I get as it's cutting through the paper. All right, guys, very close. They're both very slicey little blades. The sliciness is also going to go to the 3V RanchDog. They both have very thin grinds. I think the RanchDog is going to start out with a little bit thinner blade stock. 0.0170 versus 0.1280. So the RanchDog, they're both tall, flat grinds. The RanchDog is going to come in a little slicier. Then we come into durability. Durability is one, I don't look at it as sliciness. I look at it as overall, how will it hold up in the environments? How will it hold up if I have to use it unlike a knife? Well, this one's going to be thicker. This one's going to be hardier. This one's 3V, which is going to take more lateral pressure. It's going to be tougher than the S35VN, which is a little bit more well balanced. However, I think they're both going to be very durable knives. In this particular case, I'm going to give it a draw. Even though the 3V is going to be a little bit more durable than the S35, I think the titanium will probably wear better than the wood. And that brings us to value, overall value, right? So if the Big Idea design is $229 and it's a Best Tech OEM knife, and then you've got the Lucky Dog at $249, and I've got to check these, guys. I'll check these prices before I post this video. But in value per dollar, since I think they're both fantastic knives that work very well, I don't see one that's throwing out a big advantage over the other. Yes, the RanchDog is going to be $20 more, but it's made in small batches by a custom maker. This knife is made in more of a production setting, but it's made very well. I'm going to give that a push, which is going to give my weird total still 4-2 for the RanchDog. So on this particular comparison, in my very non-scientific subjective comparison, looking at just these different variables, materials, ergonomics, carry, retention, aesthetics, sliciness, durability, and value, I come up with the winner in the RanchDog. Guys, they're both great knives. There will be more RanchDogs available, as there will be Lookouts, also some USA-made Lookouts. But all I want to do is say thank you for watching. I hope you found it entertaining, somewhat informative. These are both great knives. Do me a favor, give me a like if you're so inclined. Hit the subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. But most importantly, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your hearts and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.